Hello everybody. Today we're going to talk about our rights when it comes to having a mandatory vaccine. The UK COVID laws were changed just before all this kind of kicked off, and one of the words that was used was mandatory vaccination, so I wanted to have a look into see what that meant. Mandatory usually means an order of some kind, and when it comes to communicable events, I wanted to know what that meant, really. So I went and found a British Journal of Medical Practitioners article, and it says the right to consent, is it absolute? So that's what you're looking for if you want to look this up. It has a legal framework, and it reads, a medical intervention without valid informed consent is a criminal offence, and the physician can be charged with battery. Examples of such situations include treatment against the patient's will, different treatment than the one consented for, and treatment after consenting deliberately with wrong information. And this is governed by the General Medical Council. So, that's the understanding of informed consent. You have to be told the correct information, the side effects, everything that's associated with it, everything that you want to know about it, and give your consent knowing all of that. If they've lied to you, they do it without your permission, they've committed a criminal offence. Okay, that's how it was before the COVID-19 happened. So under COVID-19, so what's happened? So I looked up the Control of Disease Act 1984 and I printed it out, and it's here. And it deals with, for the first half of it, infectious diseases coming through ports, airports, by ship, and all that kind of stuff. Once you get past that, you'll find the domestic stuff, how it applies to us as people, our property, and our things. Just to let you know that the first thing that will strike you when you look up this act on the government website is that it says changes to legislation, and this has been updated on the 27th of April 2020, so just a day or so ago, and it's come into force on that day. So this is applicable from now. This is in operation now. Okay, so what can they do to us and stuff? So this concerns essentially, these orders can be given by a justice of the peace in relation to a person. If they suspect a person to be infected or contaminated, i.e. haven't had the vaccine, the infection or contamination is one which prevents and could present significant harm to human health. There is a risk that the person might infect or contaminate others, and it is necessary to make the order in order to remove and reduce the risk. Okay, so that's why they're doing it. So what happens to us? So we have to submit to a medical examination. We can be removed to a hospital or other suitable establishment, taken from your home and taken to a hospital or other detention centre area. Be detained in a hospital or other suitable establishment. So that's what they've just said, is that inpatient treatment, but this is saying you can be detained. And there's a bit more detail later on explaining that. To be kept in isolation or quarantine, you may be disinfected or contaminated. A person wear protective clothing, so that's like an all-in-one jumpsuit, like in Guantanamo Bay or something. Person provide information or answer questions about person's health or other circumstances. A person's health be monitored and results reported. A person attending training or advice sessions how to reduce the risk of infecting or contaminating others. Well, that's room 101, isn't it? You know, re-education, which you'll be subjected to. A person be subjected to restrictions on where a person goes or whom they associate with, and a person abstains from work or trading. And then it goes on essentially to talk about, again, sort of risk to human health and what have you. So they keep repeating that. So that's what can happen to you, and we'll go back in a bit more detail in a second. But I just quickly wanted to go through this and to let you know what's happening and what's going to be happening to us from the 27th of April. So when it comes to your possessions, your things, it says they can seize or retain your things. The thing be kept in isolation or quarantine. The thing be disinfected or decontaminated, and the thing be destroyed or disposed of. So that's your things, that's your personal property. Whatever you've touched, because you're a contaminated or infected person, whatever you touch, whatever it is, can be taken. That's all your things in your house. Everything they can take. But what happens to the owner? Well, the owner of the thing, or any person who has had any custody or control of the thing, friends have been in your house, someone's been in your house, your mum's been in your house, this relates to them, everything. If someone has touched any part of your property, it refers to them. So what do they have to do? You have to provide information or answer questions about the thing. including in particular information or questions about where the thing has been or about the identity of any related person or the whereabouts of any related thing. So you are going to be interrogated. And then it goes on to say about buildings. So much of the same applies to buildings. So they can close your place of business down, stop you from trading, to remove the risk. And then it says, in the case of a conveyance or a movable structure, it can be detained. So if you've got a mobile business or anything like that, it can be detained by the state. And then it can be disinfected or decontaminated. Or in the case of a building, conveyance or structure, the premises be destroyed. So they can take all your things and they can then destroy your premises. We go on. Talks about thing of groups. So everything applies to people. They can take you. They can medically examine you, give you force the medication on you, all that. And then it talks about arrest, seizure of things, property with no notice to be given. And so essentially all that can happen, but they don't have to tell you that they're going to do it. They don't have to give you notice. If a justice of the peace considers it necessary to do so, the justice may make order without a person having been given such notice. So it deals with a person with parental responsibilities, husbands and wives. It deals with society, essentially, that they don't have to give you notice, they can just take you. So they've also made they've given themselves powers to invent offences. So they can invent an offence, create an offence, they call it in here. They can create an offence for anything that they desire. And also they have given themselves the power for this to be enforced permanently. There is no suggestion here that this is anything temporary. So let's talk about enforcement. So what happens how do you commit a crime now? A person commits an offence if the person fails without reasonable excuse to comply with restriction or requirement imposed by the order, willfully obstructs anyone acting in the execution of the order. So if you say, no, you don't want the vaccine, they can't deliver the vaccine to you, you've committed an offence. You don't have to be violent, you don't have to, all you have to do is fail to give a reasonable excuse. Why don't you want it? Because I don't know what's in it. You're having it. No, I'm not. You've committed an offence. Straight away. Willful obstruction is just trying to stop them from delivering it to people, I guess, or you yourself. So you commit an offence again. And that's a £5,000 fine, or up to a £5,000 fine. And each day that doesn't get paid off, that fine, they are allowed to add more debt onto you.
As you can see, in the UK already, which many do not know now, these people can actually pick you up from your home. The laws on ground have been relaxed. They have already amended the laws that protected you. You don't have those rights you used to have before of consent. It is gone out the window. So now you are going to be a prisoner. They even use the word detain. You will be detained. You will be detained. And so this thing is coming in two different ways. There is the digital contact tracing and there is the manual contact tracing, which is what you just watched in this video right now. So the digital contact tracing, because when you hear that, you'll be like, okay, come on, not everybody has a phone. Not everybody has an Android phone or iOS phone. The people who have Android and iOS, many of them are going to fall under the digital contact tracing. The manual contact tracing will come for the people who don't have those Android phones or people who don't even have phones at all. So everybody is going to be covered. You know what you just watched now? After, let me tell you how it's going to go down. After you have gotten all the Bob and Alice situation taken care of, you have your devices like almost everybody has today. Okay, and then you register and say, I have COVID-19, and you are quarantined, or the persons that you met have been quarantined. You know what happens? They are telling you that it's going to be self-isolation, that they will send you information to self-isolate because you have COVID-19 or you came in contact with somebody who has it. But when you self-isolate or self-quarantine yourself, are they going to leave you to stay like that? The video you just saw shows you that they are going to have the power to come to your homes and take you out. They will take you to any location of their choice and quarantine you there. You are going to remain in that place. In fact, you're going to be dressed in a protective gear, which is more like wearing an overall, like somebody who is in prison, just like the young man said in the video. You become a prisoner. They can do anything they want with you. They can come and take your properties. This is UK. They will take your properties and say that all of these have been contaminated. They can even destroy your building. Did you not hear from the young man? He's a UK citizen. This is the UK, I repeat. Active right now as we speak. And this is an app that can easily say that you are positive when you are not even positive. You don't necessarily have to enter your diagnosis into the app. You see how they got us? And we are busy making noise all over the place, talking trash when they are working hard to finish you and I. That is how it is going to go down. But where did it come from? You know where it all came from? There's a World Health Organization executive who made a statement recently. You know what the man said? The man said that coronavirus infections have now left the streets due to lockdown and has gone to the family circles now. It is now at the family level. It is now at community level more like, okay? So what they want to do from his mouth, they will now have to go into those families and begin to take out the people who they believe have COVID-19 and then isolate them in a very respectful manner. He said it with his mouth, that they will come into your family, extract you, and then quarantine you somewhere. Exactly the same thing that you see playing out in the UK from that video that the young man played.
And at the moment, in most parts of the world, due to lockdown, most of the transmission that's actually happening in many countries now is happening in the household, at family level. In some senses, transmission has been taken off the streets and pushed back into family units. Now we need to go and look in families to find those people who may be sick and remove them and isolate them in a safe and dignified manner.
And so because Nigeria is controlled by the UK from head to toe, UK runs the government we have in Nigeria today like 110%. Do you think that Nigeria will be left out? You see? That's why Femi Gbajabiamila and all these people were feverishly fighting to alter the 2004 National Quarantine Act to replace it with the Infectious Diseases Act that they brought up, which is basically more like a forced vaccination act. Okay, so what do they do all these things for? They are doing all these things because a vaccine is about to come, and the vaccine that is coming, which I'm going to cover in another video, is not the kind of vaccine you're used to. Is the one that is going to manipulate your DNA, and they want billions of people around the world to receive this vaccine, and that is why these desperate draconian measures must be implemented by every means, whether by hook or by crook. And so Nigeria has to be a part of it, because Nigeria is a blueprint of the UK manipulative leadership or autocracy or colonial imposition in the whole of Africa. Nigeria is a test case. It's a blueprint. If you want to know what UK has done to Africa, come to Nigeria. Go see it for yourself. Go to Nigeria and see it. So everything the UK has done, you can expect that it's going to be implemented in Nigeria. And in case you think I'm hallucinating, I want to read you something from Vanguard newspaper. This was just 3 days ago. Today is May 21. This was on May 18. Yes. 2020. So the Presidential Task Force on Coronavirus, headed by Boss Mustafa, one guy I really like in Buhari switching, but he's all part of the team. But he looks very gentle, but he's all part of the game, This is what Boss Mustafa said recently on Vanguard. It's published on Vanguard, and I'm showing you that. He says, so I believe that what we are going to do now as a task force is to come down to the level of having the communities take ownership of the response to COVID-19. Well, why does the community have to take a response? This is what he said here then. He says, we have been preaching that in the last week. All our press conferences, we emphasized that there must be a change and there must be a paradigm shift to community responsibility, because we believe we have gotten to the stage of community transmission, and the only way you can deal with community transmission is when you give the responsibility back to the community, not in terms of treating people, no, but in terms of surveillance, contact tracing, and I'm going to show you where he said it. Okay, so Boss Mustafa, on this publication, Vanguard News Nigeria, you can see the date. He's saying, listen, I'll read it again for you just in case you don't understand. He said, we emphasize that there must be a change and there must be a paradigm shift to community responsibility, because we believe we have gotten to the stage of community transmission. Community transmission. The same thing that the World Health Organization officials just said, that they believe that the virus has left the streets and has gone down to the family level. So now, Boss Mustafa is repeating the same thing. Can you see that? And so the same recommendation by WHO, you can expect that as well from Boss Mustafa. And I'm going to read it for you. So listen to this one now. He says, we have developed a national response which has been cascaded to the states, but the communities must plug into the national response. What is this national response? He said, where we have primary health care centers all over the country, they can be used as stations of reporting, of surveillance within a particular community, of tracing, of tracking, so that we can take out those that we suspect have exhibited symptoms or have come in contact with people who have exhibited symptoms, for testing and for isolation. The same thing that the guy said, the same thing that is happening in the UK. He said, listen, I will read it again. He said, where we have primary health care centers, in other words, the places where they have primary care centers scattered all over the country, he said they can be used as stations of reporting. They can be used as places to report, of surveillance. They are going to surveil, okay, within a particular community, of tracing. Remember, we've been talking about contact tracing, okay, of tracking people so that they can remove those that we suspect have exhibited symptoms or have come in contact with people who have exhibited symptoms. For what? For testing and for isolation. So they take you out there to test you and to isolate you. And you saw the video that was making the rounds recently. I even posted on my Facebook page.
I'm okay. And I don't know why they are keeping me. And I'm having 1 year, 6 months boy at home. I need to go back to my son. I need to go back to my work. We have many of them here. The same thing is happening. Somebody, like they did riot. The guys, they started breaking the mopper, everything. And I have 2 or 3 people that are still here. One has spent 32 days. One has spent 21 days. Why are they keeping us? We are not sick. We want to go. We are tired.
They said they want to test them. They kept conducting tests on them. Nobody's telling the women, this is your result. They just kept them there. Oh, it's just going to be for 14 days. No, they are there for 30 days, 40 days, 41 days, 43 days. By force, they have no access to freedom. This is playing out already, and they want it to go on mainstream. Remember, the caption of this news that I'm reading to you here says, President Muhammad Buhari to unfold new procedures on Monday. New procedure on Monday. That is the broadcast that he was supposed to make that he could not make. Whether he developed cold feet, I don't know. Whether they told him, "Oga, wait, let the temperature get to a point before you can say," I don't know. But that was the thing he was supposed to make. The press release he was supposed to give. To let you know that they have now come to the point where you will be hijacked from your home and told that you have COVID-19, and you will be whisked away to an unknown destination and put in any detention facility of their choice. And you are told you are being tested, we are going to isolate you here for some time, and when you die, nobody cares, nobody knows what happened to you. It could be that COVID-19 has killed you. And so you can imagine what happens to all those people who are against the government, anti-government people like us, people who will say, "Oh, I don't agree with you," or maybe Christians who have already been going through hell in Nigeria, or pastors who are outspoken, or conservatives who don't like what the government is doing in any region or in any country. They will come after you and say, "You have COVID-19. So if you escape the mobile app, you cannot escape the manual app that they are going to use." This one is a manual app. You see, this is unfolding now as we speak, and they are busy telling us about Almajiri going to the east of Nigeria, going to the south of Nigeria. We already know the plan has been on for years. It is the UK that is behind all of this. They want to neutralize the whole country so that nobody can have the opportunity to say, "I want to break out." I've explained this in most of my videos. The Almajiri thing is a distraction. How did I know? Go and check Vanguard newspaper today online. You will see a caption where the northern governors say, "We will continue to repatriate the Almajiris." Why did they say that? Because they are all part of the plan. It's all intentional to keep everybody distracted while the real danger is brewing underneath us. This is the story of our lives, told to you in a very practical way. So what are we going to do now? You know, every time when I make these videos, people always say, Joe, we need solution. We need solution. What should we do? What's the next step now? You know, what I think we should do? First of all, I think we should pray. I would never take prayer out of the equation. Second of all, I think that even if we pray, let's pray for boldness. If you don't want to pray for your boldness, if you know where to go and get the boldness, get it from wherever you can. Because when somebody is coming to kill you, you already know they want to kill you. I think it's better to put up a serious resistance and resist them, and if you die in the process, it's an honorable way to die. If you die in the process of fighting for what is right, you have died honorably. Because if you don't put up a fight, they will still do it. If you put up a fight, you have a chance of stopping them from doing it. And why we make all these videos is so that we can create a massive awareness, so that people will know, because when we are aware, communities will begin to band together, begin to come together and put up serious resistance. So that, because the only way they can succeed is when we are isolated and we are all on our own. Spread the news in your community. Spread the news in your family circles. Tell everybody this is coming, that is coming. Please do not do this. You start first of all by making sure you do not download the app. Don't have anything to do with that app. And if they come with the manual one, put up a fight. We are Africans. times we cannot be manipulated to become hybrids. God made us naturally the way we are, and we love the way we are. These people want to get out of us so incapacitated and so imprisoned in our own skin to the point that when they bring the RNA vaccine, they will begin to inject it in us all. This is what is happening. This video is a wake-up call. Get off the bandwagon of this Almajiri nonsense. If you don't have a life, how do you even begin to fight for freedom? The people are closing in. I've shown you all the evidence, all the proof. It's happening right now in the UK. Nigeria is an extension of the UK. Everything they implement there over COVID-19, they will implement in Nigeria. We were praying and hoping for Donald Trump to come and help us, and he was coming. And then suddenly COVID came, and they gave him distraction. And Trump is now facing his people because he needs to save his people, and he's doing a damn good job of it. But now we in Africa are going to have to face these demons and beasts all by ourselves. And the only way we can do it now, with little to no help from anywhere else, is by coming together and putting up a resistance. Every time you see a lion take down a buffalo, the only way they always let go of that buffalo is when all the herd come around and face the lions. And that's when the lion gives up. Are we going to come together as a herd? Are we going to continue to cause division amongst ourselves? Are we going to do that, or are we just going to continue to divide ourselves even further? I have been born to give you this warning, and I'm doing my best as a human being. What you do with the warning is up to you. There is so much more that is going on that I'm involved in, and I would never say it in the media. So don't think that I'm sitting down and just talking to you. When I tell you this thing, it is for you to actually do something at your own level. Don't feel crippled by fear or incapacitated or too weak to do something. You can do something no matter how strong or weak you think you are. By even calling someone on the phone and telling them this is what is going on, you have done something. Just do something. Don't let fear cripple you. Let's do something. Let's get the world around everywhere and tell the whole world this is what is happening. Boss Mustafa has told you what they want to do now next. The next time you see Buhari make a broadcast, this is what he's going to be talking about. And that's why they have not actually lifted the lockdown completely all over Africa. They want us to admit to this contact tracing trash, which of course is going to be powered by 5G. Back to the same story. Still brings us to the question, what did the Chinese guys come to do in Nigeria? And now they're leaving Nigeria. What did they come to do? What did they come to do that at the time they are leaving is when Boss Mustafa is announced that they're now going to go into serious, enforcement of pulling people away from their homes. You know how you're going to get the contact tracing app on your phone? You see that thing that happens to phones all the time? They say you need to update. If you don't update, you can't use other things on your phone. You must click update and your phone will update. The moment your phone updates, you see the app there. In some places they say you have to download it, but this is what we read, that they are going to make it come that way. You will see the thing there. All this sugar-coated thing, they are telling you that your privacy and all this is going to be secure. It's a lie. Many scientists have come out to say, look, there are too many loopholes here that people's privacy will be messed up with. And they don't care. How can these people care about your privacy? How can they care about your privacy? We are up for something really huge and historic. I beg of you, wake up, my beloved people. Wake up. And I pray that the Lord God Almighty will give us the grace. Now, this time around, it's no longer just grace to go and pray. It is grace to come out and act, to resist. Physically, you're going to have to resist manually. That's what we're up against, and God will help us. I want to thank all of you who follow us on YouTube. You know, my YouTube page is more like a community of people who are just awake, or people who want to be awake in these times. We are building a new kind of community for this end time. and I believe that it has pleased the Lord to let me lead that community. And so every time I see a new person subscribe, I'm very, very excited. I feel so happy. You don't know how much I love you guys. I don't know how I get. Somebody says, "Oh, do you actually read all the comments?" Sometimes I read the comments, and when I read, I enjoy every bit of it. I really love you guys with all my heart, and I will ask you to please, if you have not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe, and also click on the notification button so that whenever I upload a new video, you can be among the first people, to watch it. Of course, you're going to get a notification, and there's so many other videos we're going to be uploading in the next few days and weeks, and I bet you can't wait to see those. So I love you and I thank you so much. And of course, I also want to let you guys know that if you guys, I'm trying to build a partnership team, and if you want to be a part of that team, please write me an email, because most of the videos I put on YouTube, nearly all of them are either demonetized or blocked or kicked out or given limited monetization. So I really don't do my videos because of money. I can't tell you how much I've ever made from YouTube. If I was making videos for YouTube for money, I'm telling you, most of the things I expose to you guys, I would never be able to do those because I don't get any money from them. Nobody wants to advertise on those videos, but you get to benefit from those videos, and that's what I care about the most. So if you want to partner with us, it wouldn't be a very bad idea at all. And if you want to also support what we do, I'm asking you to do that as well, and we're going to provide some links that you can use to do that. And now I want you to take this from me. I love you with all my heart. I do not take your patronage for granted. I do not take the fact that you subscribe and follow me for granted. From the bottom of my heart, I want to let you know that I appreciate you and I love you. And please keep me in your prayers always. Again, don't forget to subscribe and click the notification button. I love you. Take care. Bye-bye.